Okay, my number 3, I know it's on your list, Forza Horizon.
Yes, it is on my list. It's number 1, in fact.
Okay. It's absolutely amazing.
It really is.
It's absolutely fantastic. The one thing that as soon as I was playing it and my girlfriend was around, and every 2 minutes I was like, I can't believe how good looking this game is. It's a testimony to how much, if you're working on if you're a first party team working, they must have an insight into how that machine works better than anyone, obviously. Because not only does it look incredible, when you do things that normally, if you're playing Max Payne and you go to the guide, it can you can see that the system's kind of struggling a little bit. If you piss around and send messages and go and see what your friends are doing, it can sort of stutter a little bit.
Yeah.
It was like you weren't even playing a game when I went into the guide on this. It's just like Sony rightfully get a lot of praise for their first party stuff, but Microsoft, this is a gorgeous game, but more importantly than that, it's fun as hell, and it is still FIFA. It is still Forza. It's
really
not,
is.
Not turned to an arcade racer.
No. I saw it being played at the Eurogamer Expo, and I thought, damn, I hadn't really been following it because I don't like Forza very much. Generally, I admire it. It's one of those games, I admire it. I understand that it's good, but I don't really like that type of game. So I didn't really care about anything with Forza attached to it. And then I saw it being played at Eurogamer, and I was like, oh, that looks nice. It looks like Need for Speed. And then I was commissioned a review for it on Video Game. You can read that if you like to. And within seconds, it's such a cool intro. The way they talk up this festival, the Horizon Festival, and then you're on the road in a really nice car, and then suddenly all these other cars start coming up, overtaking you, all on the way to the festival, and it turns into a race. Such a great intro. And you're flying towards this thing, and they really nail that kind of festival atmosphere. I felt like I was actually at a festival. The cutscenes and stuff are a bit, rubbish, but they weren't too offensive either. I didn't find it.
But the cutscenes that did feel like focus group rubbish. I mean, to be honest, I didn't respond to the whole concept of this festival that's like Coachella in the desert, but it's all about cars. I didn't respond to any of that. The cutscenes, the fact that you're playing a character, which you've never done, obviously, in a Forza game before, and there's a love interest, and there's a sort of wise-talking black guy who takes you off on illegal street races. The whole thing, I was just like, this is bullshit. But that's what the guys making it think. They treat that shit with contempt. They get it done, and then they leave you to the good stuff. Yeah. And I really appreciate that. There's no undue focus paid to the bullshit that clearly marketing people have sort of imposed on them.
Mm-hmm. But the important thing, it's kind of got that arcade racer open world structure, but with everything that's good about any of the other types of games in this genre put in there. So you've got the asynchronous play of beating people's times and stuff like that, and lots of information and feedback on that. You've got the way of leveling up and earning more money to buy new cars, which you can then tune Forza style really in depth, or you can do it automatically if you're a bit stupider like me. You've got all little side missions you can do, stuff to find in the open world, but fundamentally the best moment I had in the game was I earned enough money to buy a Lamborghini, bought it, and I thought I'll just race to an event, and it was so nice to drive. I play weirdly in the in-car view in this game because I don't know, it just feels right for some reason. I had the 5.1 headphones on, behind the wheel of this car. There was a good tune on the radio, and I just drove. I didn't go to an event, I just drove, and I drove all the way into the mountains, and I was just drifting through this mountain trail for ages, and I just put the pant down afterwards, and I was like, this game is fucking amazing. It's absolutely superb. It's just like, it's a joyous experience to be behind the wheels of these cars, because they don't feel like, they feel amazing to drive. It's not, the handling isn't so serious that you can't do it, but at the same time it's not, like you said, that arcade, don't have to brake type, just slide around every corner handling. You feel like you're driving this car, and the physics are just, they're a joke. they don't even I can't even understand how they're that good.
I think I when I wrote a review, I tried to stress as much as possible that this is still Forza, and you're kind of encouraged to take the stabilisers away, the sort of assists, so that you get to having a driving sim. But you don't have to do that. There's nothing stopping you
just
from playing.
Scale it down to where you're comfortable, which is what I've done, taking the racing line off and things like that. Yeah. But I scaled a bit too far and I couldn't drive, so I just put a couple of things back on, and then you find everyone will find their sweet spot, I think.
It's great. Have you tried playing online?
Yeah, I tried briefly, but it seemed a bit more standard than how some of the games in the genre are in that respect.
It takes a little bit from Test Drive Unlimited, a little bit from Test Drive. It takes that thing where you pull behind people and you sort of signal them, and then you can race them straight away. And the sort of multiplayer challenges from Burnout Paradise. From what I can see, I went online for a bit with other people who were reviewing it, I guess. And we weren't talking to each other, so we were up shit creek because the whole thing's open like it is in Paradise, but most of the challenges, from what I could see, are all based on all 3 or 4 of you passing through a speed camera or going through a stretch of road at the same point, doing the same speed. There's not like loads of really cool challenges like in Burnout, so it seemed like they were testing the water. Mm-hmm. It's fine. I'm glad it's there, but it's not. It wasn't incredible.
Yeah, I just really enjoyed the single player.
Yeah, me too.
I'm all right.
They owe such a huge debt to Criterion, though.
They do.
They really. I mean, there's so much that's taken from them. I mean, as soon as it started, and there was a radio DJ who sounded exactly like Stryker from Burnout Takedown.
Yeah.
And then it was just there were all these things that they'd borrowed, but they've still kept it as Forza. I mean, for me, it's the best game because I was exactly the same as you. I don't respond to sort of straight-laced, petrol head. We're taking this all so seriously. There's no story. There's no this. Although the story on this is rubbish, I prefer it to nothing but menus and numbers and details about cars and stuff. So I mean, I think it's absolutely tremendous. Honestly, do it's something else.
Yeah, it kind of really came out of nowhere for me to be this good. I wasn't expecting to love it, and we've got Need for Speed's coming out in a few weeks as well. So it's a treat for this type of game. But I love Forza Horizon. So good.
Yeah, and it doesn't have
feel of the cars.
What?
The feel of the cars is just.
Oh, I will say that there's nowhere near as many cars as there were in 3 and 4 at all.
No.
Nowhere near. And what was the other thing that I noticed? Oh, friends of mine are going to be devastated. I mean, they're all getting it because I've got a couple of friends who are hardcore into Forza, but there's no auction house at all. And that was such a massive part for some people.
There is, isn't there?
No, there's no auction house. There's no. You can't do designs and auction them online.
You can.
No, you can't.
There is a marketplace thing.
What do you mean a marketplace thing?
I'm sure you go to marketplace and then you log in online. I'm sure that's in there.
No, it's not, because honestly, that's the one part. A mate texted me saying, "Tell me there's an auction house," because that's all he does, and I don't understand how it works.
I'm sure it's in there.
It's not. There's no auction house in Forza Horizon. I put money on it.
Right.
Which is something that, like I say, hardcore fans are going to be quite disappointed with. All the one, because it's not the kind of thing I'd ever touch, but some Forza nuts, that's their favourite part of the game. And it doesn't have Jeremy Clarkson in it, so automatically it's 10 times better than the last one.
1,000 times better.
That's when I put that in for review, I put the disc in. The first thing that happens is there's a shot of a car, and you hear Jeremy Clarkson's voice say, God. "You're a dying breed, you and me." I came so close to just switching the fucking thing off.
I was really tired that day as well when I put that game onto review back then, and then it happened, and it's like, I can't do this.
You're a dying breed, you and me. Fuck off. You and me are nothing. You're nothing to me. You're dead to me, Jeremy Clarkson. Piss off. I don't like Jeremy Clarkson. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. But I am a fan of Forza Horizon.
As am I. Big fan. I mean, like top 10 games of the year fan, almost certainly.
Yeah, I can see it there. Although I think I've said that about 25 games.
So have I. But this really is breathtaking. Really is.